Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. So last year, hedge fund manager Ray Dalio said cash is trash because holding cash doesn't really make any money for you and it underperforms the stock market over the long run. And recently, this past week, he was interviewed by CNBC where he reiterated that cash is still trash, especially now when the inflation rate is even higher than what it was last year.
Is cash still trash?
Of course, cash is still trash. Cash, I'm asking you, you know how fast you're losing buying power in cash?
And I used to agree with him. Historically speaking, you're always better to invest a lump sum as much as you can, as quickly as you can, than to spread out your buys over a long period of time. But recently, I've kind of changed my mind because I've been thinking maybe there is a good reason to have some cash on hand. Not a huge amount, but maybe like 10 or 15% of a portfolio can be in cash for strategic reasons. And here's why. The first reason is for opportunity. One of the key advantages of holding cash is it allows for opportunistic purchases when company valuations decline to a very attractive level. An example of somebody taking advantage of this is Warren Buffett. He purchased 1.6 million shares of Wells Fargo for just $8 per share in 2009, and today the stock is trading at almost $46 per share. Buffett has alluded to maintaining a minimum of $20 billion in the portfolio of Berkshire Hathaway at any given time, but in most cases, he has a lot more. In a way, you do lose money to inflation if you're just holding cash, but nothing exists in a vacuum. The value of cash is relative to what it can buy. When you're talking about CPI and general goods and services, it does lose purchasing power. However, if you're using cash to buy stocks, for instance, and the stock market is down like 10 or 20% like it is right now, your purchasing power of having cash, it's gone up, right? So it's not like you're losing absolute wealth because there's no one way to judge how wealthy a person is. If you're measuring the purchasing power of cash to the S&P 500, for example, over the last 6 months, you've actually increased your purchasing power because the money hasn't changed, but the index is down, which means you can buy more of it. Another advantage of having cash as part of a diversified portfolio is it reduces volatility, and having access to cash during a downturn means you don't have to sell any stocks or bonds in the event of an emergency or unplanned large expense. So I've been kind of thinking maybe there is value to be had in terms of portfolio management of holding some cash in your account as a risk management tool and to help you with buying those opportunities when you see them and also to help with liquidity. Of course, you don't necessarily need cash to access liquidity. There are other ways around it. So even if you're fully invested like I was and you see the market go down like I saw, you can still buy a lot of stocks, and usually that involves borrowing from a secured debt, which I'm going to be talking about more in next week's video. So that's worked well for me in the past. We're still in the middle of a correction right now. Nobody knows how deep or how long this is going to last, but I am borrowing to buy stocks right now, and we'll see how all of this ends later. So holding cash in your portfolio, just something to think about. Maybe it's a good idea for you as well. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you got something out of this, and I'll talk to you in the next one.